Good evening, dear friends. Welcome back to the Walking and Talking channel. This is Domas. I tried to record a video today. My iPad died, so I'm re-recording this. And I wanted to talk about the 12 jewels that I learned yesterday while reading the Tao of Wu. Well, first of all, it's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Then there is freedom, justice, and another one: food, clothing, shelter, and love, peace, and happiness. So all in chronological order, but I left out one which I couldn't remember. But first you gain knowledge, then you gain wisdom. From wisdom you gain understanding, and you get freedom out of those three. Freedom, justice, because if you're free you can do whatever, but if you punch someone in the face, you're gonna have to have justice for that. And I just remembered the third one is equality, so it makes every man equal. Once you have those six, then you can think about food, clothing, and shelter, and food for the mind, as well as food for thought, food for the mind. Clothing is a representation of protection as well, and shelter too. But shelter could be building your temple. Shelter can be a temple too. And from those you gain love, peace, and happiness. And Riza, the writer of the book Tao of Wu, he was talking about how he went to Africa to meet Ghostface Killer, who was living there for treating his diabetes, and he was like grown beard, mustache. He looked like one of the locals, so no one treated, like, people around him were like treating him like one of them, so they weren't paying them any respects. But Riza came, he was clothed all nice, and people were like asking for stuff, and they were treating him like king or something. But then they got to this village, and Riza said that in the city where they landed in Africa, I think it was Africa, yeah, everybody was like asking for something. But when they got to the village, everybody was offering something. So arms stretched out, but offering things. And people were happy. People were living sleeping on mud, just like nothing. They didn't have anything, but they had the 12 jewels. So they had happiness. They had love, peace, and happiness. So sometimes you don't even need, once you gain these 12 jewels, you can gain everything. But once you have these 12 jewels, you can start to, I don't know, build yourself, like knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The first three. Knowledge is free. Like, you can get knowledge by going through experiences, and From experiences, you gain wisdom. You become wise. You become a wise old man, or you can be a wise young man too. Then you gain understanding from those three. So once you have understanding, you can not make the same mistakes again that you made before. Then comes the sense of justice, with freedom, justice, and equality. And with that, you learn that everybody is equal. Nobody's better than somebody else. They might have more knowledge and wisdom, but every man is equal. So from that, you go to food, clothing, and shelter. You can think about those things, and when you get to the last bit, you can gain peace finally, and attain love and happiness. But some people seems like don't have, you don't take these things like words as words, you take them as metaphors. And I love that book. It's teaching you a lot about I don't know, it's teaching me a lot. Rizzo was very poor when he was growing up. He didn't have a lot of money, but he had family, and he had books. He had, like we have in our city, we have books, for free. So you can gain knowledge for free. You can go to a library and read any book for free. So knowledge in a way is free. You just need to get your hands on it. Once you get your hands on the knowledge, he was talking about the knowledge, the taxi driver's book in the UK. The taxi drivers have to do the knowledge. So they have to remember all of these paths where they have to go through the streets of London in order to get to some place. And the ones that knew the most routes, the most paths, they had the most memory. Their hippocampus, part of the brain responsible for memory, I think, was the biggest out of all of them. So in a way, it's like the more knowledge you gain, the more brainy you get. So they were doing the knowledge, and we're all sort of doing our own life's knowledge. And it's beautiful sunset happening now. So I'm glad that I came out to re-record this video. But I really recommend this book, The Tao of Wu. And I was talking in the previous video about first degree relatives, because even when Reza didn't have a lot of money, he was living in a 2-bedroom flat with 11 people there, and everybody was still a family. They were keeping their family close. No one was left out. Even if people didn't have money, they were getting by. They were somehow surviving the ghetto, not the ghetto, but the projects. So, people getting robbed on every corner. You had to be smart. And somehow that person became one of the most well-known hip-hop artists, the most well-known person in the world. So it means that everybody can do it. Everybody can gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in order to start the path. And you can do it too. So the 12 jewels, I really like that. It got stuck in my mind, so I thought I'll make the video about it. But you got this. I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're good. Um, yeah, and I wanted to say I wasn't very close to my family when I was growing up. Like, I mean, I was close, but I wanted to separate as quickly as I could in order to grow as a person. And it wasn't a nice separation. I was angry. I was also drinking at the time and, using substances in order to feel better, but I was only feeling worse. So that's what made me separate from my family. And as knowing that I have stpd, like schizotypal personality disorder, you're kind of close to you have friends that are closest to you, which are your first degree relatives. So I had these people in my family. I had my mom, I had my grandmother that I was very close to, and I'm still close to them. But I also had this hate towards that part of the family. This, like, I didn't want to be um, dependent on them. I didn't want to be. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to be me. I wanted to do me. And I felt like I couldn't until I separated. But that separation caused a lot of pain for me, I think. And now, when I got back to Lithuania, I got back to my hometown, and I'm reintegrating myself. I'm seeing a lot of changes that I feel like I needed that family. So when Riza was always close to his family, like it felt like he was close. I think that's a smart move, to keep close to your closest people, because you learn a lot. I feel like I should have learned more, from them. So when I could, but it's all good. You live and you learn. So really thinking that we can all go through it together, and we're gonna get through it. We just need to realize our power, which is immense. That's the right word. The chi that we all have, that we all need to focus on and be better people, but also appreciate the point that we're at in the moment. So I thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for being kind to others and loving. And I'm wishing you a great day, morning, evening, nighttime. And I love you guys. Take care and peace.